Have you got a trouble? Yeah, do the opposite. Slip your left hand behind your head. And now take hold of the sole of your left foot with your right hand. Palm to sole. And if you need to lift your head from the floor to take hold of your foot, please do. And if you need to reverse these instructions because you have a trouble with your knee and you want to do it on the other side, please do, because this is a one-sided lesson. Now, you've got hold of your foot, lift your head and have a look at that shape that you've made between the left leg, the right arm and the front of yourself. Notice that it's a kind of funny little shape. It's not a square, it's not a triangle, it's some strange kind of shape. And that there's a space. You could actually look through that space and see what's underneath you. Just a little bit. Lift your foot from the knee and lift your head from the floor and then return. Left hand is behind the head. Just that. And you've just spent a nice amount of time feeling a lack of resistance. Practice it here too. How far does the leg lift easily without overexerting, feeling a lot of resistance? How far does the head lift without feeling a lot of resistance? And slowly start to get more specific with the direction in which you're moving your head. Think clearly that you want to move your head into that space formed by your arm and your leg. But don't go there, just think it. Think that you want to go in that direction. And when you encounter resistance, just simply go, aha, resistance. Go back, and then next time, sense if there's a different way where you don't encounter the resistance so quickly. So it's not about avoiding work. I hope that's getting clear. Without work, movement cannot happen unless you're falling or someone's carrying you or pulling you. But that means the work is somewhere else, not inside you. So to move yourself, work must happen. It's the experience of the work that you want to be able to have a say in. It's possible to work in such a way that you feel effort. And this is my personal definition of effort. You might not find this anywhere else. Effort is what you feel when the work is misapplied. It's your first-person experience of misapplied work. Applied too soon, applied too late. Applied contradicting some other work going on somewhere else. Too much work, too soon. Not enough work, too late. So effort is what we experience with misapplied work. Stop and rest. Now you know why Feldenkrais was so interested in simplicity and elegance. Because if something is elegant, stripped back to its bare minimum, with nothing else interfering, all you feel is work. And chances are you don't even feel that. Please come back into that position. Take hold of the sole of your left foot with your right hand. Slip your left hand behind your head. And now lift your foot towards the ceiling and direct your head towards the gap, towards that space that you've created between your arm and your leg. And go to that height where you can say to yourself confidently, knowingly, at this height, I could stay here all day. Oh, we can come back to the performance art. If you're in the gallery and this is the position, you are a living sculpture. Could you stay here all day? Until from 9 o'clock in the morning, or is it 10 o'clock the gallery's open? From 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Could you be this living piece of performance art? Now, the next time that your head and your leg are lifted like that, notice the distance between them, between the gap and your head. And as you lower your head, move your leg in the same direction that your head is lowering. And then as you lift your head, move your leg away from the head in the same direction that the head is lifting. So basically keep the distance the same. Lower the head, the leg comes closer. Lift the head, the leg goes further. Backwards and forwards. Now you lower the head and the leg follows the head. No, the leg follows the head. Yeah? As you lower the head and then this way and then this way and then this, that's it. And when you do that, can you feel how you rock on the round surface of your back? Great, let that be in rest, please. Now, the next time that you go to hold your left foot, could you keep in the foreground of your attention the way you're gripping your foot? And see if it's possible to hold the foot lightly. And if somebody was having a close look at your foot, and if somebody was having a close look at your hand, they wouldn't see that the knuckles are getting white, nor is your foot getting white, but it's just red and juicy and full of flowing blood. Yes? So no squeezing. Don't squeeze. Bend your legs. Slip your left hand behind your head. Take hold of the sole of your left foot with your palm of your right hand. And now notice, what's your grip? Can you lighten up? And with that light grip, now lift the leg and the head and think of taking the tip of your left elbow into that space. Hey, check out the grip. I can see white knuckles. I picked something that I can see, right? So I walk around and I have a look, where's the white knuckles? Where's the white knuckles? And now experiment a little. If you're taking the tip of your elbow into that gap, into that space, in which part of the space are you targeting? You can, someone was talking about archery the other day. So are you targeting that part of the space that's close to your left thigh? Or are you targeting that part of the space where the hand and the ankle are? Where are you directing that elbow? So that whole space is one big target. And you can, let fly that elbow into different places within that space. Stay on your back. Nice try. And find out, where do you need to aim the elbow to make the movement feel the lightest? And if you feel that your mind is wandering, what's for dinner tonight? It's time to stop. If you feel that you're tired, it's time to stop. Anything that prevents you from paying crisp attention to feeling clearly, you know that it's time to stop. So that's what you do. You stop, you rest, and you come back to it. So where do you aim that elbow to create the lightest movement? Which, by the way, might also get that elbow into the space. Because if the movement feels light, chances are you've recruited larger muscles to do the work. And you can take your elbow even more into that gap. Great. Stop and rest, all of you. Come onto your back, leave the left leg, leave the right leg long. Slip your left hand behind your head. Hold onto the sole of your left foot with the palm of your right hand. The right leg is long on the floor. And now start to direct the elbow into the gap as you take your foot towards the ceiling. And notice, what is this like to do with the right leg long? Does just this one little change in configuration produce a totally different experience of the movement? Stay lying on your back. But lying on your back has certain parameters, right? So I can see you rolling off to one side, that's fine, just a little bit. But to actually roll completely onto your side, that's going into a different orientation, different lesson, or a different variation completely. And as long as you know that, cool. Now bend up that right leg and then ask yourself, how can you use it? When you have the right leg bent up like that, does it become useful for something other than just leaning your foot on? Ah, good. Some people are now pushing. It's great. Some people are lifting that right foot up into the air. Wow, you like lifting extra weight. Interesting. You like feeling more work. Oh, very industrious people. You sure you're not socialist? Come on, comrade. You must работать. Or the stories told of Stalin. He would look at people's hands, and he had a definite bias, of course. He'd look at a person's Yeah, so rest a little bit. So I'm just telling you that because we do have in our society, and in each society, and in each subculture, subgroup within a society, we have our normative beliefs about work. So work in physics is a very neutral term. It's just a measure of something that's been done. But in social culture, yes, in society, work is a loaded meaning. Yeah, it's loaded. And when I say work in here, I just mean in the sense of physics. That some sort of energy has to be expended to move your limbs. That's all. I'm not meaning any social implication. You bring that to the party, I don't. Please bend both of your legs. Slip your left hand behind your head. Take hold of the sole of your left foot with the palm of your right hand. And now attentively start to direct your elbow into that space, lifting your head, lifting your foot, and proportionally ask yourself, which is moving more, the leg or the head? Through space. Is it more that you're taking the gap towards the head, or are you taking the elbow towards the gap? Could you make it more proportional? So if it's a big movement that you're doing with your leg, could you somehow negotiate the movement so that there's more movement with the head and the arm than a little bit more with that and less with the leg? And if it's the other way around, if you're lifting your head and arm a lot, could you move a little less there and a little bit more with the leg? So now we have division of labor. Duh. Why should all those intellectuals get it easy? Why should the workers down in the legs have to do everything? We have funny ways of talking, yes? We talk about the body politic. So why not take those brains towards the leg? Those legs that do all that work of carrying you around. Give the leg a break. That's it. Notice where you can take your elbow when you actually mobilize the top. Yeah, beautiful. And when you do that, there's a moment that you could actually let go of your head and just put your arm through that gap as if you're reaching through that gap with your arm. Try it. Just let go of the head. Beautiful. Yeah, and then you can wrap the hand around to the other side of the calf and hold onto the calf. Nice. Look. So if that's possible for you, let go of the head, thread the arm through, and take hold of the calf from the other side and hold the leg with that left arm and with your right hand and just rock yourself a little bit. Rock yourself. That's it. And some of you might be surprised that the rocking isn't up and down. It's kind of a little bit diagonal. Can you feel that? It's not just side to side. It's not up and down. It's diagonal. Great. Let that be in rest. Let it be in rest. So we've talked about minimizing resistance. We've talked about eliminating effort. In other words, any internal sensation that work is being misdirected. We've talked about division of labor. What moves more, what moves less? Can you make it a little bit more distributed? We've talked about targets and aims. Where into that gap you direct the elbow. So now let's talk a little bit more about aim. Where towards the ceiling do you direct that left foot when you lift it? So come back into that same position, left hand behind the head, legs bent, holding your left foot with your right hand. And still with this division of labor in mind, lift the head, lift the foot, direct your elbow into that gap, and notice, where do you take the foot? And is there a direction that you could take the foot that would assist you to lift the head even higher? In other words, to get the elbow even closer to that gap. And when you're exploring this, please do let yourself lean a little bit more onto one side, lean a little bit more onto the other. So that can be part of the exploration, that you don't have to stay lying right in the center of your back. You can lean off to one side. And then the question is, to which side do you lean? And what's curious is, as a lot of you are exploring that possibility, what I'm seeing is where your elbow goes, it's getting closer and closer to your left thigh. Can you see how the elbow's going closer to the thigh? So that there is a place for the elbow to go. And it's not about me knowing it and telling you. It's out of your experience and your experimentation that you find that out for yourself. And in the process, you find out so much about what the head can do, the chest can do, the hips can do. That's the process. Otherwise, it's just instruction. Do this, do that. Big difference. The chance to explore and play, or explore and research, and just simply being told what to do. Great. Let that be. Rest again, please. Some of you have come up to me over the last couple of days and asked me, what's cognitive science? It's just one of those fields that developed to investigate this whole business of human learning and human thinking, human cognition. And the reason I got interested in cognitive science is because it was one of the few truly interdisciplinary approaches. So you have the discipline of the micro, neuroscience, all the way to the discipline of the macro, anthropology, all dedicated to the study of human learning, human cognition, human thinking. So in psychology is involved, linguistics is involved, philosophy of science is involved. Unfortunately, computer programming is involved. But I must admit, I did learn something really, really important from computer programming. Unless you tell the machine exactly what to do, it won't run the program. And that proved to me beautifully that we are not computers. You and I and your brains, we are not computers. Which beautifully affirmed exactly what I wanted to know and why I was doing Feldenkrais method. Please, come onto your back, all you non-computers. Bend your legs. Oh, you're going to be disobeying computers. Hey, good. Come on. Bend your legs if you want. Slip your hand behind your head if you want. Take hold of the sole of your foot if you want. And now, in your own time, start to explore the possibility of not only taking your elbow into that gap, into that space, but taking your whole arm through the gap until you can simply bend that left elbow and hook the knee with the elbow. I'll say that again in a different way in a moment. So the space is the target. You're lifting your head to take your elbow into that space. At a certain moment, let go of your head and just thread the whole arm through. And if it's possible, bend the elbow of your left arm and hook the knee with the bent elbow. I told you wouldn't be hooking a toe. I didn't say anything about knees. That's it. And then if you can hook your knee with your elbow, is it possible to start to actually caress your thigh with the left hand? If you're not holding your foot, then you've got a problem. And that is then the left arm is stuck, yeah? And then you have to support the leg with the arm and then you can't caress. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. And if you can caress your thigh with your left hand, could you caress the back of the left-hand side of your pelvis with your left hand? Left hand. Right hand's holding the foot, remember? Yep, sure, absolutely. So you lift the head, you lift the leg, you aim the elbow into the space, and then at a certain moment when you feel it's just right, let go of the head with the left hand and take the whole arm through that space. Now, some of you will be able to get the arm so far through that you can bend the elbow and hook the left knee. Now, once you're hooking the left knee, start to find a way to caress the left thigh down to the left buttock behind the pelvis. Feel free to lean on either side. So how do you get the hand to the thigh? That's the shin. Ah, there we go. Yes, I didn't say what part of the hand. That's the back. Yeah, good, good. See, it is possible. I'm not crazy. That's it. Aha, now someone has got their shoulder almost underneath their knee. Yeah, there's another person with their shoulder almost underneath the knee. I'm looking around now. Yeah, there we go, almost, yeah. That's fine. Now, all of those of you that do yoga, you know that there's a yoga asana like this, yes? Except you've got both knees over both shoulders. That's it. Nice. Now, if you need to roll onto one side, please feel free. And pay attention onto which side do you roll to free the left arm, to free the left leg. You're still holding onto the foot though. There we go. Look at that. There we go. If you had a back pocket, you could stick your hand into your back pocket, right? But you don't have a back pocket, so too bad. There we go. Yeah. Be careful, you might get your foot behind your head. I'm not going to do that now because you chose. Wonderful, wonderful. Let that be and rest, please. Let that be. That's enough. When you think back to Indian history and the formation of the asanas, who got that idea into their heads that their knees can be over their shoulders? I mean, where did that come from? Or did they see some baby doing it? Yeah, where do things like that, where do shapes like that come from in our human psyche? Notice what it's like to lie on your back, having done a totally asymmetrical lesson. Now, I promised you a long break, and a long break you shall have. So roll up to one side, and we'll come back together at just after 10:02. Okay? So come to one side, stand, feel what it's like, walk a little bit, and we'll finish the day with one more awareness through movement lesson before we part.